Hi, and welcome to AHTV's Week in Review. I am Rob Seltzer here for Aortic Hope, a 501c3 that provides support and education to the survivors and family and friends and caregivers of aortic disease, including survivors of aortic dissections and aneurysms. So we are here on the YouTube channel. And what I'd like you to do before I really start is to hit that like button below and the little bell to let you know when we're back on. That's how we stay in business. So please do help by doing that. I'm going to go over and review some of the things that have gone on this week on AHTV, which is available on the YouTube. I am broadcasting from the aortichope.org website, which you see in front of you. Let's start with the beginning of last week. Let's see what's going on. Oh, yes, Movement for Movement Mondays. Rest is not optional. It is essential. Yes, it is. As we say every week, it is important as survivors to keep our health as best as we can. One of the important contributors to good health is exercise. Sometimes we find ourselves getting stuck sitting around all the time and not moving. Now, if you want to be one of those and go to the gym and exercise and work out for a couple hours and work up a good sweat, go for it as long as it is approved by your physician. And you know your limits, and they will give them to you if you don't, of what you can do. But that, exercise is very important. It contributes to overall health, good night's sleep, and just making us feel better about ourselves and happier. But not everybody can make it out to the gym. I understand that. Some of us survivors just don't have that amount of energy, but we can always find some way to move. Like here, I'm sitting in this chair, right? But I can be moving too. I can be doing this. While I talk to you, I'm getting some movement. So you can join me. You watching? Go ahead. Just raise your arms, close your arms, raise them up, down, up, down. We can do this for a couple of minutes till maybe you're tired, but this is movement. Get those hands open, okay? That's always good. You can take your feet while you're sitting there, and if you can do that, and march in place, move your feet. Or I like to hear, roll my neck. There's more movement, right? And oh man, that feels good. My neck's a little stiff today. I should have done this earlier. Do it down, back, down, back, left. Try to touch your ear to your shoulder as far as you don't have to if you can't get there. All those things feel good. And then do the neck roll, okay? All of this is good. It's movement, movement, movement. Movement is the important thing. It's all good for us. No matter what you can do, just try to move. Even, get up out of your chair, stretch. Remember the seventh inning stretch of the ball games, right? Stand up, stretch all the way out. Feel those muscles stretch. Those fingers, your shoulders, your elbows, feel it all. Bring them down. Bring them to the front, okay? Wiggle those fingers. Get some movement. There we go. And bring it in. And do that a few times, all right? You can stretch to your legs, to your feet. Even sitting down, you can, if you're on the couch, right? Stretch out those legs and your feet and your toes. But the important thing is get some movement every day. We want to try to have some movement. You'll feel better for it. You'll feel better physically and mentally, and you'll sleep better. Okay. I want to thank Joyce for making that contribution this week. Topic Tuesday, biological versus mechanical valves. Very, very, very important. Okay. In fact, it's very current too, because I know two people right now that have been dealing with this. One, Karen Anderson, our president, founder. She just had a valve replacement surgery. And then I have another friend who I'm not going to mention. I don't have her permission, but she is, trying to decide what to do about her upcoming valve replacement surgery that she will need to have. So when you do have this conversation with your doctor, your valve may be, what happens is they get leaky, especially our aortic valve at the aortic root. Sometimes the tissue gets soft and not as elastic, and they don't work as well. So sometimes they leak blood, allows it to come back in, or it goes, the wrong way, and that's not good, right? They need to do the job, open and close, and when they're supposed to, and start and stop that blood flow. But if they're not, then they need to be repaired or replaced. If they're going to be replaced, your doctor will probably give you, well, not probably, will give you two choices: either a biological valve, which is on our screen here, or a mechanical valve. All right, so the biological valve, oh, there we go. Look at that. The biological valve is biologic in nature. It's made from tissue, either bovine or porcine. So that's bovine as in cow tissue, or porcine as in pig tissue. Those are real live, we're live biological tissues that they're made from, and those go into replace your valve. Or the other choice would be a mechanical valve here, which is made out of metal. Okay, so what's the difference in these two? Let's talk about that. Well, the biological valve is basically made out of, as I said, cow or pig tissue. What's the difference, though, between that and other differences between that and a mechanical valve? Well, let's go down. I'm talking about already the biological valve. So, our tissue valves, they're very similar to human. The biggest advantage is you don't need any additional medication like the anticoagulants, which we'll talk about in a second with the mechanical valves. All right, you do not have to have long-term anticoagulation, which is really a good, especially for a lot of patients, because doing the other anticoagulant means you have to go to clinic and get your blood checked and all of that on a regular basis. What's the drawback of the bovine valves or the porcine valves is they tend to wear out over time. So depending on your age, all right, if you're younger, there's a good chance you will have to have another surgery because it will wear out just like a part in your car, and it may need to be replaced, which means a second surgery. Now, the advantage is that once you have one of these put in, typically, and that's done open heart, the second surgery can be done with a TAVR, endovascular, and which is less invasive, and you don't have to have another open heart surgery, which is not as bad, but you still have to have another surgery, okay? But they're good for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, depending. So if you're older, it may outlive you. But if you're younger, you need to think about that because you may have to have a second surgery, possibly a third, depending how young you are, right? So if you're looking for that lifetime fix, the mechanical valves. Now, those are made from carbon and other metals. They will last a lifetime. Those typically, I say typically, do not have to be replaced. So you don't have to have another surgery, okay? They have two drawbacks, though, two main drawbacks. The first being the need for anticoagulation medicine. You have to, because they have a tendency to have clots build up around them. So you have to take a strong anticoagulant, typically warfarin, and warfarin needs to be managed. You have to go to a warfarin clinic on a regular basis and have your INR levels, which is the level of the thickness of your blood, to make sure that you're keeping it at the proper consistency to prevent the clots, but not too thin, because then you can have other problems. So, I mean, they've been doing this for a long time, and if you do it, the big issue is, you have to go to the clinic on a regular basis and have blood drawn and have it checked and all of that, and do the regular meetings. But also you have to watch what you eat too, because certain foods interfere with the warfarin medication, either making, especially things like dark leafy greens, which are really good for us, and we're supposed to have those in our diet, but they can interfere. But you can, if you do eat a lot of those, then you have to adjust. But that's what you find out from your doctors. The second issue is the noise. Sometimes some people do hear those mechanical valves going tick, 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 the metal clicking against metal in your chest. Now, in the beginning, some people find that kind of off-putting, wow, hearing that noise from your chest. Other people find it very comforting to know that that, tells them that it's working and that things are going well. So there's a certain amount of comfort there. But depending on your mindset, it could be a little bothersome to hear that. But most people, I think, do get used to it after a while because it's something that's there 24/7. So your brain's a wonderful thing, and it tends to block those things out eventually. But that's the big difference in the two. So you've got the bovine porcine biologic valve that you can either may have to be replaced, but no need for anticoagulants. And then the mechanical valve, which is the lifetime valve, but needs regular maintenance with an anticoagulant like warfarin to be managed by your physician. So if you do need to have a valve replaced, make sure you have that long talk with your physician, your surgeon, about which one to put in. I mean, you may just say to them, hey, you decide, I can't make that decision. But they're going to ask for your input. And it's important so that hopefully this helped you. If you are going to have this type of surgery, then you may want to do some more reading about it. There's lots of materials out there about valve replacement. So you can go to the big hospital websites and such and look at those, or talk to your doctors and ask them for other materials as well, so you can make a decision when that time comes. But the important thing is, if you need it done, it's important to get it done because you'll feel better. Leaky valves, just like in your car, are not a good thing, okay? And you'll want to have that repaired. So good luck to those of you that may need to have valve surgery. What's next? Let's see. AHTV, Dr. Adam Ahmed. So Adam is one of our doctors that works with us. This is a best of AHTV. We're giving our providers a little break for the holidays and not doing any new live programming. So this is one of the best of, and it's a really good one. He talks with Karen about who is on your aortic team. What are your doctors? What does a hypertension specialist do? Did you know they're hypertension specialists? And that's very important for us because as aortic disease patients, blood pressure is the thing we always talk about, and we know that must be controlled. It's one of the big contributors to our disease. So these are specialists that, specialize in hypertension and blood pressure, high and low, hypertension and probably hypotension. It could be your cardiologist, it could be a nephrologist, it could be someone that specifically does that, or one of them that has additional training, because it can be difficult. If you go to our chat rooms, people are always talking about how they can't seem to get their pressure under control. It took me almost 3 years after my surgery with a plain pharmacy roulette, as I called it, to find the right combination of anti-hypertensives to get my blood pressure where it needs to be. Now it's great and everything's running smooth, but it does take a little time. Be patient. Taking a pill does not make a change right away. It usually takes a couple of weeks for it to even, get enough in your system to actually work to be therapeutic levels. So, but that's why we have hypertension specialists. You know the difference between a primary care physician and a cardiologist? I hope you do. If not, they will talk about it. Cardiothoracic versus vascular surgeons. Now there's an important one. Who does what and when? Okay. Uh, just look at the names. You might be able to figure that out, right? Cardiothoracic, heart and chest, and vascular, which is the blood vessel system. So I bet you can figure out what they do, but when is the important part. And how do they all work together to give you the best support through diagnosis, treatment, and long-term care? I do have one of every of these doctors. I have a PCP, I have a cardiologist, I do have a cardiothoracic surgeon, I have a vascular surgeon, and now I even have a electrophysiologist, who's another type of surgeon. So we have lots of specialists out there. The whole field has gone specialized. So make sure, if you want to come here to the blog, this is where this is in the aortichope.org blog. You can just click right here on the screen itself, and it'll take you right to that video, or you can go to youtube.com/AHTV and you'll find that there as well. I want to thank our Dr. Adam Ahmed for providing this information for us. Oop, I lost one. Hold on. I hit the wrong button. Okay, there we go. Movement Monday, AHTV. Oh, it was Cookie Day on Friday. And here we go. The Survivor Series. That's very important. Every week we talk about the Survivor Series. Once again, this is a best of. Bruce O'Rourke. O'Rourke is a survivor. I know Bruce, and he's been around for quite a while. Thank goodness. And he did his Survivor Series back a while ago, and we thought we'd show that one. The Survivor Series are great. They're inspirational for those of us that have recently joined the community, that have just found out that they have aortic disease or have had a dissection. Uh, this is the way to see that, yes, life will go on and how we go about it. And you'll also see that other people have shared the same experiences as you. Uh, so it's inspiring, it's comforting. It's really great to see all of these survivors. There's many, many of them on AHTV. Also, if you've been a survivor and you did one of these, we'd love to hear from you again. That's called, we want to hear where you are today. Where are you? So after a few years, after you've done a Survivor Series, if you're watching, you can come back and do another one and tell us how life's been since the last time you did it. And if you're new to the community and you feel you could do this, if you're ready, you could be in our Survivor Series next year. Just follow this link here. You got to check out his story. And then there's another link here to sign up towards the bottom of the page. If you click that link, it will take you to a form that will be submitted, and then you'll get contacted in order to uh, record a Survivor Series and join the group on YouTube. You can go up there and look. There are a lot. I won't say how many because I don't really know, but there are a lot of Survivor Series, men and women of all ages and backgrounds that have told their stories, and they're great to listen to. They're really, really wonderful. So that was last week. That was the week in review. So what's going on the upcoming week? I want to show you just for quick. You can go to the events tab here on the Aortic Hope page. And here's the rest of November. Starting today, there I am, AHTV Week in Review. Tonight will be Women Inspiring and Supporting Empowerment Wise Women of Aortic Hope. That is a women-led and run group. And I hear they really enjoy being together and talking together. Sometimes they just don't want that male input. You know how it goes. Wednesday night will be one of the monthly support group meetings. I will be moderating that. I do the last Wednesday of every month. There will be one the following Tuesday, the first Tuesday of the month with Melissa at noon. And then we also have the caregivers on the second Wednesday, and we have bereavement the third Thursday, Wednesday. There's a lot. You've got to stay on the schedule, okay? If you want to see Thursdays. So, and Sundays, we also have Qigong with Kevin. I was mentioning about movements, right? There's a great movement. Qigong is low impact. You can do it in your chair. It's a wonderful, wonderful exercise run by a survivor, Kevin Songer. You notice everybody here are survivors. So he does a great job. And again, those are on AHTV as well. So you can go back and start at the beginning of his training and, do the whole series if you wish. He does every different exercises every week that are both relaxing and healthful and help you find your chi. If you want to know what that is, you need to tune in to Qigong with Kevin Songer. So this is the aortichope.org website where you can find all this information and also download our patient guide. And a word from our sponsors before I sign off. Here we go, our 25-26 sponsors, Cook Medical. At Cook Medical, we innovate and manufacture quality medical devices to improve lives. We focus on bringing compelling products to market and keep existing ones relevant. With headquarters in Bloomington, Indiana, and global manufacturing facilities, we aim to increase our impact worldwide. Also, Edwards Life Sciences is the global leader of patient-focused medical innovations for structural heart disease and critical care monitoring. At Edwards Life Sciences, we listen when patients talk. Why? because patients provide us with information about their experience, which can help us improve our products. Their stories inspire us to continue to fight on their behalf, and they can support comfort and support to each other when we help them connect. If you would like to learn more about Edwards Life Sciences, their resources for patients, and their patient experience, you can click here. And Doherty, Cella and Kane LLP is a national law firm dedicated to representing individuals seeking Social Security disability benefits. With over 40 years in Social Security disability expertise, we guarantee that an experienced attorney will work your case from the very first call to ensure you receive the expert representation needed to navigate the Social Security disability process. Very important. You should not try to do that by yourself. So, this is Rob Seltzer with Aortic Hope on AHTV, the Week in Review. I want to thank you for joining and watching me this week. Molly Thomas will be here next Monday doing this coming week review, and I'll be back the week after, okay? And I want to thank you again. Please remember, hit that like button and share and set the alarm to remind you of when we will be back. So I want to thank you, and good afternoon, good night, whichever time it is you're watching. And remember, keep moving.